I think I can sum up this entire review by just saying, I love her, dude. I love her. Hello everybody, I am Phenom Sage, and welcome back to another Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation review. Today we will be talking about episode 19, yep, we're getting close guys, episode 19, Route Selection. And okay, that was partially a lie because there are other things that I want to talk about in this episode. In fact, I don't really have much to say at all about Aisha as a character yet. All I can really say is that she's immediately charming, immediately funny, and immediately really adorable. And thank God Hitogami helped Rudeus not mess things up with her the same way he did with Norn. Maybe when this is all over, Aisha can help smooth things over with her, who knows. But overall, this was a really nice episode. This past part has made me wary whenever we reach a new city because, I'm not gonna lie, Militian, however you pronounce it, as cool as that city looked aesthetically, visually, it practically begged to be explored, and yet despite that, it really felt like we never got the chance to properly soak in that atmosphere, to get our bearings before jumping into the Paul plotline. And then as soon as that plotline was over, we're immediately out of there. It was super underwhelming in my opinion, and I get that they prioritized what they needed to for that storyline. Obviously, I'm happy that they prioritized the actual storytelling with Paul over the world building, but it felt like there was a lot more to that location that we just never see or interact with. Hopefully the OVA can help with that a bit, but what I liked about this episode was that while we do still get into a plotline pretty quickly upon arriving in this city, it's handled in a way where we get a better grasp of what this place is all about. Not just the palace and the guards, but even just the geography and the culture when Rudeus is running away or staying with everyone in this inn. It helps, by the way, that the art direction, the backgrounds, everything in this episode just felt like on another level, even compared to the stellar art direction of this entire series, especially when it comes to just the visual distinction of these locations, even for places that we don't even stay in. There was a city at the beginning of this episode when they make port that looked unbelievably cool. It looked kind of murky and there was a giant, almost Chinese looking palace in the middle of the city. It was sick. I hope we go back there, but basically what I'm trying to say, studio bind good, art good, and for this episode specifically, Shiroan Kingdom, it was nice to get a better grasp of the location before we get into it. And get into it we did. With the help of Deus Ex Hitogami, we learn where Aisha is, where Lilia is, and that damn Hitogami, he heard me talking trash about how many coincidences happen in this series, and he said, you know what? What if I immediately lead Rudeus to the next objective with no downtime, and you can't complain about it because it makes perfect sense in the context of the narrative, which, fair enough, Hitogami, fair enough indeed, but I have to ask, are they taking things just a little bit too far with Hitogami? I still don't understand what qualifies the moments that this dude chooses to appear, and I get that he's supposed to be enigmatic, like that's the entire point of his character, is that he just appears when he feels like it to help Rudeus on his way, and I was always willing to excuse that. This isn't really a criticism yet. I just have to wonder if this is leading to a satisfying payoff, or if by the time we learn what's actually going on, it's just going to feel like, oh, okay, you were just using that as a plot device to get Rudeus from objective to objective. Only time will tell, but I did find it interesting how we learned that the demon eye that Hitogami helped Rudeus get actually allows him to now show him full visions of the future far off in time. It made me wonder if this was the true max power of the demon eye, or if this is something that Rudeus can only achieve with a god's help. Either way, on the topic of actual plot events that happened this week, I'm glad that we're taking a bit more time to set up this conflict with the royalty. I'm glad that there was actually a good reason that Lilia wasn't found in an obvious location. I'm just wondering, how the hell did Aisha even escape that place to begin with? It seems like security would be pretty tight there. I'm assuming that Lilia somehow helped her escape while staying behind herself, but I'm sure all of this will be explained in this next episode. I do wish the villain was a bit more compelling though than just the scummy prince we occasionally saw in those Roxy POV segments. It's cool that he was set up a bit, but his motivation kind of sucks for what is essentially a pretty high-stakes plotline involving Lilia and Aisha's kidnapping. I hope it escalates into something a bit more interesting, but there was still some funny dialogue dialogue between him and Rudius. This entire episode had a lot of funny moments. Mushoku, good with comedy as always, not surprising at all, even though the trapdoor thing in the palace was taking it a bit too far into the cartoony territory. I'll let you be the judge of that, but you already know what really matters in this episode, what really carried the episode. It's all of that sweet, sweet Eris screen time, baby. I cherish any moment that this woman is on screen, and she had some great, great moments this episode. Funny moments, wholesome moments. How the hell can you not love Eris at this point, man? I do not even want to associate with you if you do not love this girl. There's nobody even competing for that best girl slot. I'm sorry. I know Roxy just had her extremely emotional episode. I cried. She's still not touching Eris. I'm sorry. I'll fight anyone who disagrees. Look at this photo of her chewing Aisha's hair in her sleep. Look at her telling Rudius that she thinks he's good the way he is. Look at her and Rui Jared talking about how they're going to storm the castle for him. It's the best, my dude. And one thing specifically that I liked about Eris this week was showing the different emotions she has towards Rudius and his bonds. With Aisha, for example, it seemed like she had distaste and almost jealousy of his family, whereas when he mentions Roxy, there isn't any jealousy at all. It's just respect and admiration and this eagerness to want to meet the person who trained and helped Rudius as a child. It's really interesting and a cool juxtaposition that I don't think is as simple as it seems on the surface, and it's just another little detail to her character that I really, really appreciate. Overall, really pleasant episode, really fun, lots of good moments. Looking forward to where this is going next week. I just hope that there's enough episodes left in this season to tell what I assume is one last arc after this Lilia arc is complete. That's been all for me though, guys. Join the Discord if you want to talk to me about this week's episode, or you can let me know in the comments what you thought about it as well. I love you all. I hope you are having a great day, and I will see you in the next video.